My name is Ashley Scretti, and my capstone project for this semester is on CVS Health. Here's a brief agenda. I'm going to give you a quick overview of CVS Health, and then I'll dive into the external environment, the internal environment, a few analysis there, and then provide my strategic recommendation. So CVS Health is an integrated retail healthcare company founded in 1963. It is an American-based company that operates only in North America. They have approximately 250,000 employees and operate through 4 segments. Their annual revenue is $268 billion. So moving forward, I'm now going to speak about the external environment. The healthcare retail industry is highly competitive. It is also extremely vulnerable to changing customer demands, especially in the technology area. With the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen a lot of changes in consumer demands and requirements, and this industry is at the forefront of that. Healthcare is such a big part of our lives, and we as consumers expect everything to be at our fingertips anymore. So all of these competitors have to adapt to this ever-growing desire for technological advancement. They also have to abide by strict rules and regulations set forth by government agencies. Another interesting fact about the healthcare industry is that it is very popular for businesses to vertically integrate. So as you can see here, there are a lot of well-known companies. But for example, let's take Cigna. They are a very popular health insurance provider. They actually partner with Express Scripts as their pharmacy benefits manager. This model of vertical integration is seen across this industry more so than not. And I will touch on this later with how CVS is vertically integrated. So the 5 forces analysis will allow us to see the true impact of external factors on CVS and their competitors. To begin, the threat of new entrants is actually a medium threat against the industry. New entrants do bring new ways of doing things, and that does put pressure on these organizations to lower their prices and find strategies to reduce costs and new ways to provide value to the customers. So while it is not extremely easy to enter the industry, it is an attractive industry, which keeps this at a medium threat. The second one we have here is the power of buyers. It is a lower threat against the competitors of CVS and CVS themselves. Buyers always want the lowest cost possible, and while this does put pressure on CVS and competitors, they have a broad enough customer base to counteract this force. Thirdly, the power of suppliers is also a medium force against the healthcare industry. With a limited number of suppliers and the specialty required around the products and services they're delivering, these companies are at the mercy of the suppliers. So when it comes to pricing and other contract negotiation, the suppliers do have a higher influence on the companies. However, CVS specifically is such a large company that they can leverage their size to counteract this. So last but not least, the threat of substitutes and the rivalry among the competition. These are both very high forces right now. As I mentioned, the retail healthcare industry is extremely attractive, and there's a ton of competitors. This threatens the overall profitability of all of these companies. And with so many options available for customers to choose from, they can choose from different products, plans, services. Each organization has to compete for a smaller and smaller portion of the market. That is why the vertical integration has been such a strong strategy. These companies have tried to find a way to remain competitive. And for example, CVS acquired Aetna to do so. They wanted to be able to provide the health insurance portion of their offerings that they weren't previously able to provide. So this does better position them to compete with all of these external forces that impact the healthcare industry. So, as I mentioned a few times, the industry is very attractive. Healthcare is one of the largest and fastest growing industries in the world. There's an extremely large customer base. There's a high demand for products and services. And there's so many different segments available for other businesses to dive into. Additionally, digital transformation has increased opportunities. So now it's not just providing medical care or providing retail products, but now there is an opportunity to invest in the safety and security of patient information, the customer digital experience, mobile applications, online ordering, delivery. There's so many opportunities that technology has provided in the retail sector. Additionally, there's also socioeconomic shifts that are happening that improve pricing trends. More people have cell phones. The unemployment rates have changed. So these are all things that increase the industry attractiveness. So now that we've covered the external environment, we are going to take a look into the internal environment and how CVS has positioned themselves to have a competitive advantage. So the mission statement at CVS is to take on many of the country's most prevalent and pressing healthcare needs by understanding and acting on what consumers want and need. There's a strong emphasis here on the community, their consumers, and ultimately all of their stakeholders. This positive message is carried through into their value statements, as we can see here. They care to put people first. CVS is known to maintain the optimal health of not only their patients and customers, but also their employees. They have been known to rise to the challenge. They are innovative, creating new ways to provide services and products at CVS. The next statement on their list of values is their ability to join forces and their desire to be collaborative. They also want to create simplicity. It is true that the aging population is a larger part of their customer base. So while technology is extremely important, CVS does try to make it simple so people of all ages from all areas and walks of life can enjoy the benefits of their offerings. They also want to inspire trust, which is extremely important for consumers in the healthcare market. I don't know about you, but I want to be able to trust that the products and services that I am receiving are actually, of value. So these are all extremely important and support their strategic initiatives that we will cover here shortly. So in terms of financial performance, CVS's revenues have been increasing over the past few years. Overall, the total revenue jumped a whopping 32% from 2018 to 2019. That's a huge jump in revenue. Additionally, they continued to grow from 2019 to 2020, however, not that large of a jump. The revenues increased about 4.6% into the year of 2020. As I mentioned earlier, they do operate in 4 different segments, so majority of their growth is in the healthcare benefits and retail segment. We can see here on the next slide that the different segments are accounted for in terms of operating income. CVS as an organization posted their strategy to accelerate growth back in June of 2019. Since then, they have performed in the green across all but one of their segments, which is their corporate segment. Operating income has steadily increased across the pharmacy, retail, and the healthcare benefits segments. However, quite oppositely, the corporate segment has continued to experience additional losses. So the SWOT analysis will help us to determine the company's competitive position by looking at their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So to begin, CVS's strengths are areas of business where they are competent and maintain a competitive advantage. Some of their strengths include their sheer size, their brand value. They've been around a long time. Everybody knows the CVS name. Their brand loyalty, which is their large customer base, their ability to achieve economies of scale, and their existing market penetration. Their weaknesses expose them to vulnerabilities in the marketplace, and some of their competitors can use these to their advantage. They could improve their information technology systems and data collection. Security is always at the forefront of patient personal information. Their foreign operations are lacking. Like I mentioned earlier, they only operate in North America, and there's a limited scope in the industry. Some of their opportunities are to leverage their size and their capacity to operate large-scale facilities. They could continue to integrate vertically by all of the resources available to them. This could include more partnerships, mergers, and/or acquisitions. Finally, their threats. Some of these threats include the foreign market competition, regulatory pressure in healthcare, and the extremely competitive market. This places a reliance on US-based market performance and could prove to be troublesome for CVS in the future. So moving forward, I would like to now cover their core competencies. These are all valuable, rare, hard to imitate, and organized. Their brand value is absolutely number one. It is rare, valuable, non-imitatable, and they have a great organization supporting it. The strong CVS brand name paired with their strategic supply chain offers a strong competitive advantage by securing lower cost and great product availability. This is also exemplified by their vertical integration and their just sheer organizational size. The vertical integration portion increases services offerings and allows them to use their core competencies to their advantage. Their cultural emphasis on giving back also provides a great competency to inspire trust and create a loyal brand of customers. So their overall strategy is differentiation. They have broad product offerings, many additional services. Now, they acquired Aetna, so they are an insurance provider. They ultimately created a one-stop shop for all of their customers. And they have been a cost leader as well. So all of this tied together, and then their efforts to create a digital customer experience has really proved to be a solid strategy for CVS. So last but not least, we are going to talk about the leadership and how it has supported their strategy for growth. The leadership at CVS Health has really added value to the organization. They have a very positive corporate culture that allows them to maintain their size and growth rate. Their leadership has aligned with their purpose, and they stopped selling tobacco. They stopped advertising with unrealistic beauty expectations. This really positive corporate culture really does start from the top down. They've created a lifestyle brand, and CVS is a household name now. Their leadership team has a lot of experience, and their CEO, who's Karen Lynch, brings hefty experience from the healthcare industry and leadership skills that helps not only navigate through the COVID-19 crisis, but also better position themselves to launch the Aetna merger and really grow their customer base. CVS does aim to give back to the community, and their leadership and human relations team has absolutely done all they can to support this. So while CVS has performed exceptionally well over the last few years, my recommendation to them would be to continue improving their digital experience, accommodate the aging population, as well as the tech-savvy younger generation. I really think that this will continue to place them at the top of the list when it comes to having a competitive advantage. Finally, here are my references if you'd like to take a look. And thank you for your time today. Take care.